The blue and red lights flashing over my front windows hit like a punch to the gut. I walked out onto my porch, heart unflinching, but nerves on edge, just in time to notice Linda, the HOA self-appointed overlord, dragging 2 cops up my driveway. She waved a Ziploc bag like a battle standard, her scream piercing enough to wake the dead. "There it is, he's a drug dealer, caught him red-handed," she screamed, pointing at a plastic bag half buried by my mailbox. Her eyes sparkled with the condescending victory of a person who believed they'd just won a war. Neighbors peeked around curtains, some whispering, some filming with their phones. What Linda didn't know, what no one in this manicured suburban bubble realized, was that I wasn't just some guy with a lawnmower. I was a DEA Special Agent, 8 years deep in busting cartels. Framing me with a baggie of low-grade street junk wasn't just bold. It was her funeral. I clenched my jaw, swallowing the laugh clawing up my throat. Linda thought she'd checkmated me. She was about to learn she'd just lit the fuse on her own destruction. 2 weeks before, I'd moved into Oakwood Meadows, a cookie-cutter neighborhood, sold as the safest place on the city's east side. Identical houses, emerald lawns, and mailboxes shaped like tiny barns screamed suburban bliss. It was the perfect cover for me, laying low while working an undercover case at the nearby port. My story was airtight. A quiet accountant recently transferred. No drama. The first few days were calm, almost too perfect. Then Linda, the HOA president, strutted up in a lime green blazer and a name tag reading Community Standards Director, a title she'd clearly made up. Her smile was all teeth like a shark, sizing up prey. She handed me a binder thick enough to choke a horse, rattling off regulations about Oakwood standards. I smiled politely, but my instincts warned her as trouble. Trouble arrived quickly. 3 days and a yellow notice was stuck to my door. A $50 fine for nonconformist flora, my pot-planted aloe plant. I paid it laughing, thinking it would be a one-off. It wasn't. Citation: snowballed grass half an inch longer, mailbox 2 worn trash can visible for 6 minutes after pickup. Each drew Linda's condescending knock, her lips curled as if savoring triumph. Worse, I caught her snooping around my house at peculiar hours, posing as power walking, but trailing by my windows. She'd yap loudly on the phone about undesirables tanking property values. Twice, I caught her glaring into my backyard, her yappy terrier snarling as she stalked along my fence. It wasn't merely frustrating, it was obsessive. My training kicked in. Linda wasn't merely nosy. She was constructing narrative, casting herself as the hero, purging evil from her perfect F-dom. The breaking point hit on a sunny Saturday. I just finished mowing when I noticed fresh dirt by my mailbox, something glinting inside. Before I could check it, Linda materialized, phone out, screaming like she'd busted a cartel. I brushed the dirt aside, revealing a baggie with a few pathetic white pills. Though amateur, it was almost insulting. Cops rolled up minutes later, clearly tipped off by Linda, who served as star witness, pointing and ranting. I played dumb, stammering about not having a clue where it came from. The officers were wary but meticulous, snapping pics, bagging evidence, and asking standard questions. Linda kept interrupting, stating she'd seen shady figures around my residence. Inside, I was smiling. She didn't realize my property was equipped with HD motion cameras, remnants of previous ops, or that my porch light concealed an encrypted body cam. Each second of her planting, that baggie was documented crystal clear. Her downfall was already scripted. She just didn't know it yet. As Linda yearned over the neighbors, I battled the desire to smirk. Her acting was so over the top, so self-assured that she couldn't notice the news closing in. Neighbors murmured, torn between her tale and my flabbergasted act. Perfect. They'd soon have ringside seats to the most ruthless takedown Oakwood had ever seen. The police asked Linda to move back for a private conversation with me. As she strutted off her ponytail, bouncing her dog, peed on my lawn, like master, like mud, I welcomed the officers into my real smile, breaking through. Showtime. The atmosphere changed the moment we entered my house. The police, cautious outside, now looked uneasy as I closed the door and crossed to my living room console. I pressed a secret button behind a photo frame and a wall panel slid open, exposing a security hub with monitors and a recording drive. Their jaws went slack. I pulled out my DEA badge from a hidden shelf and flipped it open. Special Agent currently undercover, I announced, voice calm but firm. Their faces changed from stunned to sheepish. I told them Linda's stunt had jeoparded blown my cover, but gave me a golden opportunity. They'd done everything by the book so far, I assured them, but I required their assistance to bury her properly. I pulled up the footage, Linda at dawn sneaking onto my lawn, digging a hole, planting the baggie, and scurrying off with a guilty grin. A second angle from the porch cam revealed her face smug and clear. For good measure, I posted a text from my neighbor Tom, a cybersecurity expert who'd intercepted Linda's voicemail to an HOA crony, bragging about taking down the neighborhood drug kingpin. It was a slam dunk. We outlined the plan Linda had to hang herself further, preferably in public. I proposed an emergency community meeting, choreographed as a safety celebration with Linda center stage to taunt. The officers Daniels and Ruiz agreed, vowing to prep a report for the DA. I discreetly called my agency, looping them in. My poor case was still in priority, but this was too good to pass up. For the remainder of the days, I played the rattled neighbor mowing my lawn nervously, waving, flinching when Linda sauntered by, smirking like she'd won. She bought it, her ego ballooning. She stood in her driveway spinning tales to HOA loyalists about my drug empire run from my garage. She claimed my suspiciously green lawn secrets, and my lack of potluck attendance proved I was a criminal. It was unhinged, and the quieter neighbors started to notice. Doubt spread like cracks in ice. I strengthened my defenses, installing cameras and audio bugs around my yard. Every HOA noticed me. Favorite was a $60 fine for a mailbox. Tilting 1.2 degrees was scanned and filed. The night before the meeting, I sat on my porch, coffee in hand, going over the plan. Linda thought she was about to be crowned savior. Instead, she'd be a headline HOA tyrant busted in frame job. I imagined the family she'd tormented, the fine she'd imposed on them, the fear she'd sown. This wasn't about me, was for them. As I drank, I spotted her silhouette pacing along my fence, her dog yapping. I waved, making her think she had me. One more night of her delusion. Tomorrow, she'd crash. The morning of the meeting. Oakwood hummed like a kicked hive. Cars clogged the streets. Neighbors gossiped in groups, hyped for Linda's big reveal. She strutted across the clubhouse parking lot in a red blazer, holding a folder like a prop for her victory speech. She didn't see the unmarked police SUVs parked near the basketball court. Inside the clubhouse crackled with tension. Chairs were facing a podium draped in a flag. Linda's patriotic show, the crowd was divided. Her loyalists in front, skeptics in the back. I sat near the back cap, low, looking defeated. At 10 a.m., Linda clapped for attention, tapped the mic unnecessarily, and went off on a sermon regarding community watchfulness. She positioned herself as a martyr, looking at me to make the point, even going so far as to fake a tear over keeping our children safe. Her drama was losing the room. Folks shifted uncomfortably, then came her moment of glory. She produced the planted baggie now in an evidence pouch, clutching it aloft like a scalp. "Thanks to my bravery, we're safe," she announced. Voice shaking with phony emotion. That was the signal. Officer Daniels moved forward, badge flashing, declaring an active investigation. Gasps filled the air. Linda froze, the baggie hanging. Officer Ruiz stood beside her, reading charges: evidence tampering, false reporting, harassment, obstruction. She attempted to laugh it off, pointing at me, screaming about the real criminal. Her voice broke as Daniels cuffed her. The baggie thudded on the floor with a pathetic sound. The room fell silent, except for her shrieks. Neighbors gawked, phones out, capturing her breakdown. As she was dragged by me, our eyes met. Her hate confronted my serenity. For an instant, I saw her realize she'd destroyed herself. It wasn't happiness I felt, but cold, raw satisfaction. Post-arrest, I delivered Daniels the complete evidence package, film, audio messages. The case was airtight. Neighbors poured stories of Linda's rain complaint, teen vandalism accusations, even blackmail of the old HOA president. The board collapsed within days to be replaced by a city oversight team. News broke like a bomb. Vigilante HOA leader busted in drug frame-up. Memes swamped social media. Linda's mugshots posted on superhero posters captioned "Captain Clipboard." National media covered it. A strange story of suburban craziness. Oakwood changed. Barbecues sprouted, kids, road bikes, fear lifted, Linda's charges mounted. Her plea deal included jail time, fines, and a lifetime exclusion from community boards. Her desperate lawsuit against Malaying defamation bombed when she inadvertently sent incriminating texts to the court. The judge threw it out in minutes, finding her for wasting time. Life in Oakwood flourished. A retired nurse, Mrs. Harper was elected HOA president with promises of potlucks and fairness. The clubhouse featured game nights instead of fines. I kept my cover intact, enjoying the normally one night as children drew chalk art and Harper planted tulips. I sat on my porch, drink in hand. A mystery box had come that day, a cardboard cutout of Linda in a jumpsuit with the words, "I got busted," neighbors honked laughing, I didn't gloat. Linda's prison was her own making, built on lie.